Welcome to the Airgun Show. This week we've got the brilliant Brocock Commander on test. But before that, I'm out in the woods on what turns out to be a fantastic session on the grey squirrels. Right, I'm back out targeting grey squirrels at a feeding station today. That's something we do quite frequently, but I'm hoping this is going to be a bit of a special one. Most of the time, we come out and film at feeders that I've already been shooting. However, this one, I've not shot before. I set it up more than a fortnight ago now. I've kept it topped up with peanuts. For the first week, they went down quite slowly. But now for the last week, they've been absolutely flying down. And I've even seen one or two squirrels feeding when I've turned up to top it up. So it looks like we should be in for quite a productive session. I don't want to make too much noise when we get close to the hide, so I'll just run through the kit now. The gun today is the Zebroya Hortesia. It's 177 caliber, sub 12 foot-pound. It's a gun I've been using quite a lot. Really nice compact little rifle, so it's going to handle nicely in the hide. And also it's got a really nice straight pull bolt action, really quick and easy to use. I've coupled that with a PAO Emerald SWAT scope, and it's the compact one. Again, it's a scope I've been using fairly frequently. Being small, it sits very comfortably on this gun, and also for an affordable scope, I've been really impressed with its performance. That's held on as ever with Sports Match scope mounts. The scopes from the shooting party, I'm using another piece of kit from the shooting party today, and that's the QYS pellets, which I've got a few of in my pocket here. Now that's QYS pellets, they're the domed variant. Now I reviewed them a while back. They performed absolutely brilliant. Some of my guns love them, some don't like them so much. Fortunately this one gets on very well with them. I've been doing a lot of practicing on the range, they're grouping fantastically. So today I just want to put them to the test on live quarry and see how they fare. I'm expecting very good things. So that's the kit, let's go and get settled in. Another good thing about the Zebroya is the capacity of its slick 12-shot magazine. It's nice not to have to rummage around in your pockets when it's time to reload. Right, well, I'm set up in the hide now. Fairly basic hide. I haven't gone to any trouble dressing it with vegetation. Quite frankly, the squirrels are going to be, or hopefully going to be, so distracted by the urge to come and feed, they're not really going to be looking at the hide. One thing I wanted to mention earlier on was the fact that we've actually got another camera set up quite close to the feeder, which I hope is going to give us some nice close footage. Now it's on a remote, which is not always reliable, and we don't always remember to set it, but hopefully that will bring us some really nice up close footage that we can use in this package. So now I'm just going to try to be quiet, sit and wait and see what happens. Ambush tactics do demand patience, but you're usually rewarded with pretty straightforward shots. All I can do now is sit, watch and wait until we get a visitor. It's not long before the first diner arrives, and this time it's a handsome woodpecker dropping in for a peanut. Well, it's not what we're after, but it's always nice to see birds visiting the feeders, particularly a woodpecker like that now. There are quite a few wild birds in these woods, which is great to see, although we must lose a heck of a lot of peanuts to them. And obviously those birds will fare even better when there are less grey squirrels here, raiding their nests, stealing eggs and preying on their chicks. It's those grey squirrels that we want, and the first one of the session is just about to raid the feeder. Well, absolutely cartwheeled that one. It was actually quite a small one to see out and about at this time of year, but they all count. The pull of the peanuts is hard for squirrels to resist, especially in the winter, and we soon have another one helping itself to an easy meal. Another nice clean kill there. That's the brilliant thing about using feeding stations like this. I'm shooting over a predetermined distance. It's not much more than 20 metres. It's a range that I know I can shoot very accurately over. I'm not having to worry about guessing range for hold over and hold under. And by the time you take into account the fact that I'm shooting off of sticks, it's really humane and there is just no excuse for missing. The occasional lull in the action is to be expected, but judging by the rate the peanuts have been disappearing from this feeder, it shouldn't be long before another greedy bushy-tail shows up. In the meantime, all I can do is keep my eyes peeled. Well, that one dangled for a little while, but anybody who does any amount of squirrel shooting will be well accustomed to that. They're still effectively dead. It's a headshot squirrel. It's just a nervous reflex that makes them clench, so they take a little while to drop. Another squirrel puts in an appearance, and we manage to get the close-up camera rolling this time. And there's another one. It's a bit of a nip in the air today. That's obviously putting a bit of an edge on their hunger, and they really are queuing up for these peanuts. So I reckon we could be on for quite a tally. I've put in a lot of time and effort, not to mention a generous helping of peanuts, to get the squirrels onto this feeder, but it's certainly paying off now. Well, that one took a little while to settle, but as I've said before, there really is absolutely no need to be in a rush. The squirrels are coming here to feed. We're tucked away in a hide out of sight. There's no good reason for those squirrels to go anywhere until they've had what they've come here for. So it pays just to be patient, wait until you've got the shot that you want, and then you're guaranteed that easy shot and these good clean kills. Another dangler there, but again, it was another headshot and a very clean dispatch. Just took a while to drop. Winter woodland is one of my absolute favourite shooting scenarios, and it's a real joy to be out here today. And the high level of squirrel activity is a real bonus. Well, that one really didn't know what hit it. As I said before, I was expecting that we were going to get a few shots today, but they're all over this feeder, and it really does go to show what a difference having a feeding station like this can make when it comes to reducing numbers of grey squirrels. You can see how basic the hide I'm using is. The important thing is that there's a tree behind me. It's creating a backdrop to prevent my silhouette from giving the game away each time I set up for a shot. And here comes another one now. I was very tempted to shoot this one now, but I wasn't sure whether Nicky could get lined up on it down there. So I decided to take the patient approach and wait until it came back up for another peanut. You can usually rely on grey squirrels' greed to get the better of them. Well, we had to wait a bit longer that time, so I reckon that's probably a good one to end on. The light's starting to dip a little bit, and while it's still absolutely fine to shoot by, it's probably going to start getting tricky for filming in a moment, so I'm going to call it a day. On top of that, I've been sat here for about 3 hours and it's starting to get pretty uncomfortable. But what a great session. The feeder has worked brilliantly, the kit has performed flawlessly, and I've actually lost count of the number of squirrels that we've had during this session. However, I've no doubt that there are still plenty more to be had, so we'll be back again for another go at them another day. Yet more grey squirrels brought to book there, and I expect to be accounting for a lot more through the winter months. Now, it's the Airgun Show news.
This is the Airgun Show news. At an exclusive 40th anniversary event, Daystate announced a new limited edition rifle called the Genus. The Airgun is based on the HR Huntsman Regal, but only 200 will be available worldwide, each featuring an individually numbered breech and a laminate stock with a commemorative inlay in the bottom of the pistol grip. It comes with a Huma regulator and is decked out with some gold embellishments such as the bolt handle and trigger blade. Shots are kept quiet thanks to a new moderator called the 0dB. It's expected to be on sale early next year and will retail for around £1,800. ISSF's new leadership is expected to support shooting's push to be included in the Birmingham Commonwealth Games. Just a few days after being elected as ISSF president, Vladimir Lysin made the trip to Birmingham to meet games organisers and make the case for the shooting sports. Birmingham didn't include shooting on its planned list of sports when it stepped in to replace Durban as the next host location. A final decision is expected in January. If you're looking to get a new airgunning setup for 2019, don't miss the latest issue of Airgun Shooter, on sale now. It's a Gear of the Year special covering all the really impressive items released in the last 12 months, from bullpups to bipods and PCPs to pellets. Plus there are features on night vision ratting, red squirrel rescue, and a review of the Webley Mastiff. Pick up Airgun Shooter in good news agents or visit myfavouritemagazines.co.uk. And finally, staying with Airgun Shooter, don't forget to respond to the magazine's reader survey. We want to know what you like about the mag, what you don't, and what you'd do if you were the editor. All the info will be used to make Airgun Shooter better than ever next year. To respond, just head to the reader survey section on the magazine website. The survey closes at the end of the month, so don't delay. That was the Airgun Show news.
Brocock has a reputation for pushing the boundaries when it comes to airgun design, and that's certainly the case with the Commander, which I've got on the bench today. Prices start at £999 for the standard model. This highlight version with carbon bottle costs £100 more, and you can add £175 to both models if you want to go for the Cerakote version. It's certainly not a cheap airgun, but it does boast a lot of high-end features. You don't have to be Sherlock Holmes to see that this gun is a variant of the Bantam, a fantastic little airgun in its own right. Internally, they're practically identical, but there are numerous external differences, one of the main ones being this super tactical looking stock. The handle's real standout feature is the length adjustable butt end, which also folds over flat on export models. All models feature a very fast, very smooth push button length adjustment system. There are 6 different positions which adjust length of pull from 33 to 42 centimetres, meaning you can set this gun up to fit just about any shooter. That adjustment means that overall length can be shifted from 87 to 96 centimetres. Pretty compact, whichever fits you best. It's also a very light airgun, weighing in at 3.1 kilos in the highlight version. It's an absolute breeze to carry around the field and is also very well balanced. Back to the ambidextrous synthetic stock, and you can see that it really has been designed with functionality in mind. The stippled drop-down pistol grip makes for a comfortable hold and gives brilliant trigger attack. And the tyre tread pattern of the rubber butt pad really does stick in your shoulder. There's no real forend to the stock, so your leading hand is likely to end up on the bottle. There's a Picatinny rail on the underside for the attachment of a bipod or sling, and 2 further rails for the attachment of other accessories towards the rear end of the barrel shroud. You really can kit this airgun out for whatever purpose you want from it. The scope mounting rail is also Picatinny configuration, another tactical touch, and it provides plenty of clamping space. You can actually remove those rails to reveal a conventional 11mm dovetail rail beneath. Use that rail and you should be able to mount your scope even lower to the barrel, though you may need to use reach forward mounts to accommodate larger scopes. The rail's action and barrel shroud are finished in a very neat black anodised finish to protect them from the elements. That chunky shroud is finished with a serious looking ported muzzle brake and houses a very accurate choked and crowned Lowther-Wolther barrel. The shroud is actually fitted with internal baffles which act as a reflex silencer and don't do a bad job of muffling the muzzle blast. If you do find it too loud for covert hunting, it is threaded so you can replace that brake with a silencer. The Commander runs the same 10-shot magazine as the Bantam, and it slides in from the left. Easy to load and slick in operation, it's indexed by a side bolt system, which also cocks the gun and probes home the pellet. I really like the oversized bolt handle, which enhances an already excellent cocking and loading mechanism. There's also a single shot tray supplied. It's a bit fiddly to load, but the ramped side does make the job a little bit easier. Although there was no evidence of pellet clipping when using the magazine, I have found the Commander to be a little more accurate when fitted with the single shot tray. The two-stage trigger is very good. It is adjustable, but you do have to remove the gun from the stock in order to take full advantage of the potential refinement. I really like the fairly straight, flat blade, and straight from the box, the first stage comes to a distinct stop before the second stage breaks cleanly and, in my opinion, with just the right amount of pressure. There's a very discreet paddle-type safety catch in front of the trigger blade. It's too close to the trigger for my liking, but the advantage is that you don't have to adjust your hold to use it, though it does have a bit of a click to it. The gun is safe when it's across to the right and you nudge it over to the left when you're ready to shoot. The Commander is fitted with a Huma regulator, which makes for serious shot-to-shot consistency. This one clocked a variation of just 5 feet per second over a string of 30 shots, and that was with pellets taken straight from the tin. That sort of consistency should make a serious difference as you work your way through the fill. Shot capacity is equally impressive. This 177 is producing about 400 shots at around 11.4 foot-pounds from a 230 bar fill, and the 22 is capable of around 500. The top gauge shows regulator pressure and the bottom one shows your air reserves. When it is time for a refill, simply remove the magnetic dust cap from the underside of the stock and couple up with the supplied connector. High power versions are capable of muzzle energy in excess of 40 foot-pounds. Shot capacity will be reduced, but you should still get great consistency. All models are fitted with a power adjustment dial, which on this version has 3 positions, and they amount to 8 foot-pounds, 10 foot-pounds and 11.4 foot-pounds. It turns with clear stops, and I can see this feature being very useful on high power versions. I think that's pretty much everything covered. Let's take a look at what the Commander shoots like. Well, I don't know whether you can see or quite possibly even tell from the audio, but there is a fair breeze whipping across the range today, and I can see it has spread that group just a little bit from right to left. However, at 30 metres, I'll take that for a 5-shot group. Now, that was with the magazine fitted. I've been using this gun in far stiller conditions today, and when it's calm and with the single shot tray fitted, it's capable of grouping easily as tight as that at 50 metres. Although this style of airgun won't be to everybody's taste, I have been really impressed with the Brocock Commander. It's well engineered and very robust, and when you combine that with all of its refinements and features, it certainly does justify its price tag. If you're looking for an airgun that looks tactical but also has the potential to shoot like a thoroughbred, this is certainly one to consider.
Look out for the new and improved Airgun Shooter magazine, packed full of technique, gear and insight from some of the best shooters in the industry. Brand new look and free video content. Pick up your copy today in stores or online.
That's all for this week, but we'll be back again in a fortnight. Thank you for watching, and please don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. And if you aren't already a member of the BASC, have a look at their website and check out the benefits you could be taking advantage of through Airgun membership.